I'd like to bring the August 27th meeting of the Lancaster Planning Commission meeting to order. Thank all in attendance. Our first normal procedural vote on the minutes is going to be pushed over till next month's meeting because we're just we're minus one page. So we'll move right forward to our discussion item, discussion docket item, utilities to Virginia Code regarding utility scale solar. Memo update, Ms. Pruitt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. During the 2026 General Assembly session, changes to various Virginia Code sections regarding utility-scale solar facilities and battery energy storage systems were passed into law. Companion bills HB 711/SB 347 and HB 891/SB 443, both passed into law April 22nd of this year. The HB 711 sets uniform statewide standards for utility-scale solar facilities of 1 megawatt or more, while allowing local governments to retain final approval authority. Complementing this is HB 891, which permits utility-scale battery energy storage systems as a by-right accessory use on parcels already approved for solar, bypassing the need for separate local special exceptions. Listed in your memo are the Virginia Code sections that are all affected, and so I'll go through a summary of what each of those are, and for you. So the first one has to do with local regulations of solar facilities and special exceptions for solar projects. For utility-scale solar projects 1 megawatt or more, the changes in these sections establish a uniform set of criteria for solar facilities and effectively prohibits blanket bans by a local zoning ordinance. Solar projects contemplated on agricultural, commercial, industrial, or institutionally zoned properties must be heard via the special exception process unless already allowed by right. However, the governing authority retains the right to deny these requests. The overall intent is if a solar project meets the criteria established in the code, there should be no reason to deny it, unless there is a finding of nonconformity with the county's comprehensive plan. So the key points from that are, again, it's going to apply to applications submitted after July 1 of 2026. It updates requirements for decommissioning plans, sets the criteria for the special exception, allows special exceptions for separate energy storage system projects, requires reporting to the State Corporation Commission on special exception decisions, a variance from the criteria, meaning a more stringent requirements, must be agreed upon by both property owner, locality, and solar operator. And you can enter into a siting agreement that establishes less restrictive restrictions than contained within the code section. Following are the list of criteria. So there's 12 main criteria that are identified in the code section there. Moving on, there is the section about effect of executed siting agreements and battery energy storage projects. A battery energy storage system is now a permitted accessory use in all applicable zoning districts that are subject to an approved special exception for solar facilities, if not already allowed by right, if the storage system is located within the parcel bounds of the solar facility. This creates a by right accessory status once the solar special exception exists. So key points there would be applies to solar facilities approved again after July 1 of 2026, applies to battery storage with capacity of not more than 100% of the capacity of the solar facility for it to be by right, does not need separate special exception approval. If the solar project is allowed, then the storage project, if the solar project is allowed, then the storage project is also allowed. It presumes so unless the applicant proffers not to build one and it is included in the siting agreement. You can add the battery storage at any time in the future. You cannot charge any extra fees or impose other terms other than what was allowed by state law unless included within the original siting agreement. So recommendation there is, the idea is that you would include battery storage in your siting agreement no matter what, even if it's not already on the table. The bill preserves local authority to enforce applicable codes and require safety operations. And then finally, about bonding provisions for decommissioning. This expands the requirements to be included in a decommissioning plan. It requires updated cost estimates prepared by a licensed engineer every 5 years. The land is to be put back into its original state unless agreed upon differently by the landowner. After decommissioning, compliance with all stormwater provisions in state law. Updated decommissioning plan upon change of project ownership. If there is a change in project ownership, updated information and financial guarantees must be provided to the locality within 30 days. So to facilitate this discussion, your packet includes copies of the 2 adopted bills, along with the applicable excerpt from the comprehensive plan regarding utility scale solar facilities. This discussion is envisioned as a work session to present information regarding possible changes to our code. Based on the comments and/or questions from the Planning Commission and the public, this issue may be presented to you again with any additional requested information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pruitt. You guys have any questions for staff? So this is another one of those things that the General Assembly said, this is what we're going to do, pretty much. Okay. The only, I guess, just questions I had for staff, but what provisions do we have now that aren't consistent with what they're requesting?
So really, the main things that I saw were, the one thing is we have to add commercial zones. Right now, we do not allow solar in any commercially zoned property, so you have to allow it in commercially zoned property, so C1 and C2. Setbacks are the other really big thing, so ours are a lot more stringent than what are in the code. Height requirement as well, ours is lower than what is in the code. And then again, the battery energy storage part of it. So we don't have anything really that addresses that specifically in our code. So we would have to kind of tailor that to meet what Virginia code has in terms of how it is a by right. Going forward, it's a by right accessory.
So basically, they're going to make us be more lax?
That's one way you could look at it.
Are there any provisions that we still have, like the jurisdiction to keep? Anything that's in our current, setbacks or anything like that?
I think so. I mean, going through our code, a lot of what we have in there already complies or meets up with, some of those standards, those 12 criteria that they have. So like the decommissioning plan, for example, we already have that in our code. There are other things that are already in there. So it's largely tweaking little things in terms of numbers a lot of times. So in terms of your setbacks or your height, things of that nature.
You guys want to add anything?
The 12 points on that we was looking at, and we addressed a lot of those when we was setting up the code for solar, except for the wildlife. And I was sitting there reading, I said, okay, wildlife access. What do they exactly mean by that, it's a fence around with a gate on it, so is that wildlife access? I mean, that seems to be subjective to me, when you say something like that.
I would agree. So there was a like a webinar that was done on this, and some of the consensus there was that it's up for interpretation, and there's certain language within the code that is hard to decipher. It may just take either somebody testing it in the court system, or more likely is that in the next General Assembly, there might be updates and tweaks to it from there.
Yeah, because I think all the other points, we already got those covered, it seems to me.
What about the battery storage? And I'm ignorant about that. We currently allow that storage. That seems to jump out to me. I don't remember seeing as much about the battery storage.
I don't think
We allow it with a special
with
exception.
a special exception.
So now do we have to address it in the siting agreement up front, or is it,
No, it's a by right permitted
so
use
we just now have to assume that every,
on approved
on the
utility,
large ones, all the large ones?
on approved utility scale projects. It's a by right permitted use.
But you can in the site, if you're negotiating a siting agreement, I think you can account for it. So like
Yeah.
preemptively, if you're gonna do one in the future, X, Y, and Z needs to happen, if they're willing to agree to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember, that's where I kind of just forgot about it. Any other questions for staff? So what's the deal here? We'll come back in? Yes, Charlotte?
I can't consider you, man.
No, it's just a discussion.
Battery storage. I know storage being requested by Dominion, not attached to a solar facility. It was outside of a station down in the Whitestone area, to be exact. How would that be?
So when it comes to the by right use of it, it has to be within the bounds of the solar facility that has already been approved. So if somebody requests to put one in that is on a different parcel, you can require a special exception. You can approve or deny that at the board's will. But it has to be within the bounds. If it's outside, it's a different story.
Yeah. So, like Dominion is gonna try to get a murder plan. That would have to be within the bounds. And I guess that was already being set up. Great easy, that type of thing. But, this other one was down in the Whitestone area, near the power, the lines came to the county. And, they wanted to put a battery storage in that area, and they wanted to do it in other places outside of a solar facility. That's what I'm.
Yeah. I'm not aware of any proposals for that.
That's not, I mean, as far as this, yeah,
He said, no, he was gonna sell it.
I don't know that either. Yeah, okay. Any other questions for staff? Thank you.
Okay.
Solar keeps coming back. Holy moly. Tonight, we do have one public hearing, application for change of zoning district classification from agricultural general district A2 to commercial district C1, conditional, by Jones Felby trustee and Joseph Elborn and Margaret Elborn, contract buyers, P.O. Box 1314, Whitestone, Virginia 22578, for a 1.969 acre parcel property near Brookvale known as tax map number 1749B, located at the corner of Maryball Road and Devil's Bottom Road, Lancaster, Virginia, in District 2. Does everybody know where that property is? Okay. Okay. Ms.
Thank you,
Burke?
Mr. Chairman. Okay, Article 8 of the Lancaster County zoning ordinance identifies permitted uses and regulations for commercial district C1. The applicant wishes to utilize their property known as tax map 17-49B, containing 1.959 acres, as an electric contractor's business office and storage facility. The existing A2 zoning classification does not allow for a contractor's business office and storage facility. Therefore, the applicants are requesting to rezone the property to commercial district C1. The applicant's business, Elborn Electrical Services, Inc., currently operates from an established location in the town of Whitestone on a relatively small parcel with limited space to accommodate the company's continued growth. As the business has expanded, the existing site has become increasingly constrained, offering little opportunity for additional office and training, operations, equipment, vehicle, and storage needs. The proposed location provides a larger site that is better suited to the company's current and anticipated operational needs. Its location along a major roadway also provides good visibility and convenient access to other areas of the county and region. Rezoning the subject property to C1 would provide a practical and economically feasible opportunity for a location that can better support its continued growth. The comprehensive plan seeks to balance economic development with the preservation of the county's rural character and quality of life. Among its stated objectives are the expansion and diversification of the local economy and the creation and retention of employment opportunities. Accordingly, the applicant's request advances these objectives while providing an opportunity for an existing local business to remain and expand within the county. At the same time, the comprehensive plan emphasizes that commercial growth should occur in a manner that avoids strip development and protects the rural and visual character of the county's major roadway corridors. The property is subject to the Highway Corridor Overlay District, which is intended to protect the safety, capacity, function, and appearance of the county's principal transportation corridors. The Highway Corridor District establishes standards to assist in ensuring that commercial development does not result in an unnecessarily intensive or visually intrusive presence along Route 3. The proposed is compatible with the Highway Corridor Overlay District and with appropriate site design should be capable of meeting its objectives while simultaneously supporting the county's economic development objectives. Although the subject property is currently zoned A2, the surrounding area is not exclusively agricultural or residential in character. The Route 3 corridor in this vicinity includes a mix of municipal, service or commercial, contractor-related, and other non-residential uses with additional concentrations of commercial and industrial activity located nearby. The property is also situated within relatively close proximity to the town of Kilmarnock. To aid in their request, the applicants have provided a letter detailing their request and assigned and notarized a conditional rezoning proffer. Provided as part of this memo are the property survey, the preliminary site plan that they have provided, an aerial of the current Elborn electrical location in Whitestone, and then you also have a zoning map of the area that shows the proposed location with some of the other businesses along there that are relatively close. This issue has been advertised and adjoining property owners notified as required by law. As of the drafting of this memo, there have been no public comments received regarding this rezoning request. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pruitt. Any questions for staff? Do y'all have a representative that could just sort of tell us what is going on, answer some questions for the commission? Mr. Elborn, although everyone here knows you, do you mind coming up and stating your name, please?
This is for all the people in virtual land, so they can hear.
Yes, so they can hear you.
Okay.
Hang on one second, Paul. Do we have anyone online, Glenn, just out of curiosity? Mr. Elborn, the floor is yours.
My name is Paul Elborn. I own Elborn Electrical Services. We're based out of Whitestone currently. Over the last 2 or 3 years, we've outgrown our facility, and we're hoping to relocate further up the county, a little closer to where we live now, and have a little more space. Any questions you all would have, I don't know that I could offer you a lot more than that. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just so the commission would know, your access point, are you planning on going off of Devil's Bottom or?
Devil's Bottom.
Devil's
Yes.
Bottom. Has there been any conversations with VDOT yet?
I have talked to VDOT already.
And did they? 'Cause
She didn't
VDOT
seem-
is VDOT,
The lady I talked to, we left it,
because you've already got the turning lane now from the old school.
correct.
going in there.
But we have tractor trailers on occasion, maybe once or twice a month, delivering generators. And we don't want them trying to work Route 3, so we're planning on utilizing Devil's Bottom.
Okay. That was one question. And then, I know it's in there, but your plan is to ultimately screen Route 3 from the building, is that correct?
We're
To
gonna-
a certain, I mean, I'm not seeing.
We're
you
planning
have to.
on planting trees along Route 3.
And does the overlays, the highway overlay apply here, the
Yes.
100-foot? So we know it's going to be 100 feet at a minimum off of Route 3, correct?
From Route 3, the setback is 150 feet
150
from
feet.
the center line
the center line,
of the road. So
That doesn't mess you up at all?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's still over, even taking that out of it, it's still double the room we've got now.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Elmore? Thank you. And I also would like to say it's nice that a local business is expanding. I have to say that. Good job.
I appreciate it.
Or I should say needs to expand. I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse here. At this time, based on our public hearing regarding this matter, I will open up the floor. If anyone wants to come up, please state your name and your district.
Charlie Costello, District 2. I drive Devil's Bottom all the time going to Kilmarnock, back and forth. And I'd like to see screening not only on Route 3, but on Devil's Bottom. Because just as you turn on the Devil's Bottom, there's a little blue sign. And it says Virginia Scenic Byway. And that's what Devil's Bottom is. And I think it needs to be protected just as much as Route 3 is and so on. And also, across the way, you have the Latter-day Saints stake and so on. And they want to be, I would think, protected from this particular activity going on. I question how high this is going to be and what it will really look like to fit in with that area. And my third question would be, are you retaining your property in Whitestone? That's what I thought you probably were. Is this close to where Hanley's services are? Or is it Hanley's services? It's close to it, but it's on the other road. Okay. So it's, and then you said about a training facility. And are you going to be a single story or a double story? What is the intent? What things are. Things are important. Sometimes we've had people say, oh, we'll screen things. And I can think of a number of things in this county that have gone and they don't screen and we haven't done a damn thing about it. And it really doesn't add to the tourism, and that's what we have a lot of and so on. So we need to be sure that whatever is going does go there, and I have a minute, and I'll turn it back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. Do you want to address any of that, Mr. Elborn?
I mean, I can address some of it.
Again,
Our intention
can you come up here, Paul?
to screen Route 3 is more for the road. But the building would be facing Devil's Bottom, so I wouldn't exactly want to screen, you know, and we're planning on having a sign. I would certainly concede that we would screen the storage part of it, but the actual building, we're planning on having a decent-looking building with signage out front. And I would not want to plant trees in front of the entire building where you wouldn't be able to see it when you turn on that road. You know, that's kind of part of the reason of picking a spot along the Route 3 corridor is for visibility.
The setback from Devil Bottom Road was what?
So the setback there is 40 feet from the center line of the right-of-way, but no less than 15 feet from the edge of the property line. Now, on the plat that we have, Devil's Bottom in that area, it says variable width. So I'm not exactly sure how wide it is there, but if you want to assume it's 50 feet wide, as most are, that puts you right at, that would be that 15-foot setback from the property line, which is what the utility easement is right there. So that's where that setback. So they could build, in theory, all the way up to there. But looking at the site plan, they've got to fit a septic system on here, and that is proposed to go right there. So if you're looking at it from Devil's Bottom, I think the building will be set back further off.
Yes.
Okay.
If you look, do you all have a picture of the plat in
Yeah.
y'all's package?
You guys.
So if you look, the proposed septic system and reserve runs just inside the setback from Devil's Bottom. So the building's probably got to be every bit of 100 feet back from Devil's Bottom. And that that area there would be a grass area there, is what we're thinking. We're very preliminary in this, but we're thinking that's going to be a grass area, but the building is going to face in that direction. But we've got to stay back because of the septic system.
Mr. Chairman, our zoning code will dictate the landscaping that's required there.
Okay.
And also the height of the building.
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
just like to say, if anybody's familiar with our current location in Whitestone, right now it looks like a house, it has a shop out back. We work very hard, and I dare say we're one of the nicest looking businesses in Whitestone because we take pride in our business. We have very nice landscaping, we keep our yard manicured, so I can promise you, anything we build, it's gonna look nice and it's gonna suit the area. We take pride in what we do, and that's all I have to say.
You should have had the boss come up earlier. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Bob Kazaza. I live on Route 3 at 11545. The house is called Saratoga. We're right across from that field.
Oh, yeah. No, no.
Okay, so if it's zoned commercially, I don't know how big of a place he's making, but that's a pretty big piece of property there that is agricultural. Is he taking over the whole area? And if it is zoned commercial, would anybody have the right to build other things on that property? That is a beautiful piece of entryway into Kilmarnock.
It's 1.969 acres on that corner.
Okay.
It's not the field, it's just a
Yeah.
corner lot.
So the pregnancy center, what used to be there, and then the school's there, so it's just.
No, I know where the school is, but I'm saying that's a pretty large field. So are you taking over the entire?
It's only the corner lot.
But, God, I understand that now. Okay. No, that's fine. But what happens to the rest of the field? That's my question.
Yeah, that's, at this time, it will still stay at the phone because we don't, that's still owned by the previous owner.
Okay. No, I was just concerned that other businesses would want to build next to his business, which would then become like a little shopping center area.
Yeah, let me address that. I was going to compliment the applicant on the clearness of their statement of intent. I mean, so often with these applications for C, we have an applicant who wants to do a given use, and he includes that in his list of uses, along with about 50 other uses, anything you can think of. This one doesn't do this. This only talks
That's-
about an
that's
office
why- That's
building.
why I asked the question. I have seen their house in Whitestone, and they take good care of it, and they take good care of their business. Thank you.
I think his
Thank you.
point was, what could happen in that area, in that field. I think that's what his concern is.
We
And
don't
that's
have
still the
control
problem, that's
of it, we don't own
still,
it.
yeah.
Personally, I feel, what else is going to go there? You're not going to put a house there. I mean, you certainly, you could by right. Don't look at me like that, I see you. But I mean, it's suited for what he wants.
Well, at this point, they're only asking that this one lot be rezoned, not the whole field anyway.
But they don't own the whole field.
That's what I'm saying, they don't own it, but they're only asking for one little piece that they're buying anyway, so.
That's correct.
Well, others can come in, but others can come in regardless. I mean, that's still got to come before the board here, and they still got to go before the board of supervisors.
Just to double check, do we have anyone online? Anyone else would like to speak? We will now close the public hearing session of this session, or this meeting. What do you guys think? It's almost hometown. Big thoughts.
Looks fine to me.
I don't have a problem with it.
Looks like we have some unanimous consensus. Can we make a motion?
I'd be glad to. I'd like to make a motion that we forward the rezoning request for tax map 17-49B from agricultural general district A2 to commercial district C1 conditional based on the proffer we received, and forward that to the Board of Supervisors with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you, Ms. Booth. We've got a motion of approval on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Okay. Anything else?
I got two things real quick. Later on tonight, we're doing something that we haven't done in my tenure working for the county, and that is hold a joint public hearing of both the Board of Supervisors and the Planning Commission. So just for your knowledge, for that joint public hearing, the chairman is going to move into the middle of these two tables right here, and I'm going to take you three and sit at this table, and I'm going to take those three folks and sit at that table. I'm going to move up on the dais by Bill Smith. Mr. Cornwell is going to be down there by Mr. Lee, and so that's how we're going to conduct the joint public hearing, just for your knowledge. Second point I want to make is a little internal restructuring that we have going on in county offices right now. The Director of Planning and Land Use is a very large job. I held it at one time. Olivia currently holds it, and it's only gotten more involved, a lot more work, a lot more stressful. So internally, I'm going to, I have divided that Director of Planning and Land Use into two departments, two directors. Olivia is going to become the Director of Environmental Codes, and Andrea is going to be the Director of Planning and Zoning. So what does that mean for you all? It means you're probably going to see a lot more of Andrea and a little bit less of Olivia. But you'll still see Olivia when there's any environmental issues that need to be brought before the Planning Commission. So not a huge deal from the public view, but internally trying to make the workload more compatible within that department.
Thank you. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody else have anything? We're to come back at 7. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Dr. We have a Board of Zoning Appeals report.
We did have one zoning appeal come up this month about a week or so ago, and it was for a front yard setback. It was for a private pickleball court that they wanted to put in their own yard, and it was approved. I think it wasn't unanimous, but it was approved. And I don't know if we got anything else coming up. That's all we've had.
You know, from my profession, you know the pickleball courts actually decrease your property value?
Really?
Yeah, it's a fun little fact. They're so noisy, it drives people crazy. Sound like horses trotting. Yeah, I have never had to appraise one, but that's what I read in my book. Yeah.
How about tennis courts? Tennis courts?
They're not as
Detrimental.
different balls. Yeah, different balls, not as loud.
Okay.
Yeah. Little fun fact.
Yeah, that is a fun fact.
Okay, so is everyone planning on coming back this evening? When you going to be back tonight at 7?
I guess I will if I have to.
No, you certainly don't have to. I'll be back. Okay, all right. This
Yes.
meeting,
Well, you're just going to recess until 7 o'clock.
yeah, we'll reconvene at 7. Yeah. We didn't get a signage.
I'm gonna get that now.
Okay.
Don, you have dinner in your office for us,
What's that?
doing the
Heavy hors d'oeuvres?
I don't